So, dear audience, we are coming to the next panel. It's about future of sports, collectibles, and soccer in Web3, and we have amazing guests. And Vincent is here from OneFootball and from Fanzone. Claudio, sorry, because we made an old speaker on this deck, but you also had a great individual talk already. So, and maybe also Dirk is joining later. If he's hearing this, Dirk, you're also welcome to join us spontaneously if you like. Let's start. So, Vincent, very great that you're here. I would give the words to you to introduce to the audience, and then we'll continue.
Cool. Thank you, Dennis, for having me. I'm Vincent. I'm from OneFootball. We are actually a Web2 app that was founded like 14 years ago, and we basically serve the everyday football fan any information, anything around football that you want to consume about stats, data, about news. So we have it all in one app. And then basically 2 years ago, I co-founded OneFootball Labs, which is kind of like the speedboat, kind of like the incubation for Web3, because we are really big believers in the Web3 space and that football is a good vehicle to bring it to the masses. And so we are developing technology to make this possible. And super excited to be here today. Also, thanks for the talk earlier. Quite interesting because, I think we very aligned on this.
Schleiche ich mich mal noch rein. Danke, Dennis, für die Einladung.
Schön, dich hier zu haben, Dirk. Und wir geben gerade mal das Wort an Claudio und machen das heute ein bisschen spontaner, schon war fortgeschritten.
Ja, da ist ja noch ein dritter Kollege auf dem Screen.
Mein Team hat auch wenig Schlaf gehabt in letzter Zeit. Anscheinend kriegt man nicht mehr die Namen und die Bilder zusammen. Deswegen schön, dass du hier bist, Claudio. Stell dich nochmal vor.
Ja, gerne. Switch to English or Deutsch? Sorry. No. Yeah. So my name is Claudio. I'm with Dirk. I'm the co-founder of Fanzone. It's a fan engagement app with Web3 at a focus. My background is also in tech. 2017 at the Porsche Digital Lab, which is a little research lab here in Berlin. Started focusing on blockchain more and more, and I immediately switched from AI to blockchain because I saw this speed of innovation. And my personal goal was, how can we onboard regular people in a safe and secure way? And of course, fan engagement is great because everybody is kind of a fan of sports, music, entertainment, or somewhere else.
Yeah, my name is Dirk. I founded the company together with Claudio. And I was touching, let's say, my first touch points with NFTs in 2018 when was my former company, Striking. We were operating a fantasy football game and then started to look at the Major League Baseball, which was the first professional sports league who came up with an NFT-based product, MLB Crypto, at that time. And it was for us, it was a perfect match to say, okay, we already have a fantasy sports game, and why not? It could be a lot more interesting for your users not to only put like pictures of players into a virtual squad, but really own the players. And that's why we started to work on towards connecting, using technology to create fan engagement products or games, and that's what we do now with Fanzone again.
And you're also working on that new Porsche project, right?
Yeah, that's true. So we met in Miami, because that was announced, and we are sort of a partner to do the technical and also the selling processing for the Porsche project. And so we did found a like a subsidiary for it, and now we're sort of operating together with the guys at Porsche. And just started the journey. Obviously, it's just their first step into Web3, and I think it's an exciting concept, and so we are really excited to see the journey.
Absolutely. Just as a background, and great that you joined also spontaneously here this panel. Vincent, how you saw the last weeks also, when the football championship took part and Germany went immediately out. So was it also something which influenced like the business the last month? So some insights maybe from your community, from you as a founder would be maybe amazing.
Yeah, sure. I think starting in the football space, licenses is always like a really big topic, right? Who owns the license to what? When we started this, I think, like about 2 years ago, everybody need to be educated of what license do they have, what can they give away, and I think, the the best kind of example of it is the World Cup. So it's quite difficult to do any NFT that states the word World Cup on it. So we truly also believe in kind of like do great collaborations. So in that sense, we did actually collaborations with Cool Cats. It was called Cool Cats FC. And so we did a dynamic NFT there that basically represents the countries in the different group stages. And whenever you would, your team would make it, your NFT would evolve, get another star, and you would unlock more rewards. And ultimately, the biggest reward is that you actually, fly out and can be there, before the finals. So. That was an interesting project for us that we worked on, and then also yesterday we released our Sandbox experience. So we did something together with the Argentinian Federation, AFA, and so basically we built a museum based on the history of AFA, and these are some of the collabs that we do currently with companies within our ecosystem.
And how much people use then also this Cool Cats league or this campaign? Was it some insights you can share if you want?
I think in usage it's more like we work on snapshots, but it was like 4,000 NFTs that we minted, mostly minted into the communities itself. So there, at the moment we have really crazy bear market, but the people who are on the allow list, or get early access, this all minted out. And the public one, it was a little bit more difficult.
Regarding Sandbox, yesterday Sebastien was speaking here also, and he shared also a lot of things, collaborations, and I'm pretty sure Sandbox is also a good way to go. And I'm very interested if you want to share later in this panel also some other things which are planned if you want. And Claudio and Dirk, let us know how is it in your company? How have you seen the last weeks during the World Cup and Germany went out, as I said. So, but general, what insights and feedback you can give us?
Yeah, for us it obviously was very disappointing that they went out that early. And because we have, as an official licensing partner of the DFB, we have released a new collection with the only partner that were able to release really the actual squad. So because it was only been publicly released a couple of days before. And so, yeah, we had sort of a nice first 2 weeks, but then obviously let's say, and it was kind of difficult because the World Cup itself was not perceived with the same fan engagement and the same, let's say, forward-looking and positive sort of fan climate that we had in Germany. So it could have been better, obviously, but obviously we are working on, let's say, having built in different incentives also for users to complete collections that still can be rewards that are really interesting for them. But obviously for us it would have been a lot better if they would have played 7 matches at the end and not only 3. Because we also do for every match we let the community vote for a community favorite, like the player of the match, and then this player is being created as a community favorite card of only 50 units, and they are normally gone immediately. And obviously that we only were able to do collect 3 community favorites. Just disappointing, but that's sports. That's connected to engagement, to emotion, and to real results, and that's what we can't influence.
Anything to add from your side, from some KPIs, insights, how it was used, your solution during the World Cup?
Yeah, from the technical side, of course, we're also in a little bit in a bear market with crypto. I thought initially it's not that bad because there was a lot of things happening in the past. There was, I don't know, a Mt. Gox hack, there was a Ethereum DAO problem, and so on and so on. And I thought FTX, if you just look at the Bitcoin or Ethereum cores, it didn't happen too much. But a lot of people which are not in the crypto space got really scared. Even though FTX was a centralized part and not a decentralized part, well, that's kind of missing in the message for most people, I guess. And I think this is still a lot of insecurity with people, yeah? Not necessarily, though, on the other side with teams and brands. I think on the other side, teams and brands, they all want to get Web3 ready. So, but from a customer perspective, they are more unsecure, while corporates rather want to get ready.
Especially when we look at Germany, it's a football country, normally as itself. And yesterday we talked with the Meta founders, with Metaverse founders, Dirk from Upland and Sebastien, also about their approach, how they want to go further to the market. And Sebastien said, we are delivering infrastructure that everyone can build. We stay online, and and Dirk from Upland said, no, we have to go offline because in Upland we represent the real world as a digital twin, and you can buy your home address and you can build a store and all that stuff. And the question is in the space of sports, collectibles and soccer, how important is the offline world? It's one like meetups or giving out some stuff, or even collectibles like cards, and maybe you see what others are doing. There are some card games outside. It's one example, it's called Parallel Life. A good friend of mine referred it to me, and you get cards and then you have like your camera and see something with augmented reality which is touching you know in the real world. And is something planned in your companies regarding also going into physical and also to connect to the fans? A lot of questions, but I think you will figure it out.
Yeah, I think especially in the current phase that we are in, it's the connection between the digital and the physical is still very important. So in order to educate fans that digital ownership is possible, that it is connected to maybe real merchandise and a virtual merchandise, and then or you can do it either way, right? So to and try to meet the fans where they are. That would be the stadiums or the halls or the where the fans then meet in order to watch the actual the matches. And obviously there you can start with, I don't know, there are a couple of companies out there working now on physical NFTs, so to say, and then get the experience and the one-to-one connection to the digital NFT, and have another type of POAPs, and because obviously you can really directly have the physical NFT and connect it to the digital. So working on it, but we're preparing first collaboration in that space. I think in the next 1-2 years, it will be very important to onboard Web2 fans into the Web3 world, and but the real value of also sports related NFTs, I think in the future will also come by these interoperability that you really have to see. You know, that you can buy maybe a Musiala card in our platform, but you can use it in different other Web3 applications and get benefits there, and really see that this really drives that really shows digital ownership in a way that the item can leave the application where it comes from, and was not possible in all the games all the years, but now that's possible, and this gives an additional value to the NFTs also for the normal fan, because it's not about speculating, it's about creating additional value for the NFT, additional utility, but this will take a while because we are still so early. But that's why in the current phase, I believe it's pretty important to have this connection between physical and digital.
And Vincent, is your company looking also into this? How's the positioning, if you can talk about?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I 100% agree on that. I mean, this is also the next step, I think, for Web3 in general, even if I don't think from the OneFootball perspective itself. But right now, it was really all about building infrastructure, you know, getting like the first projects out. But, you know, for us, for example, it's, you know, also how do we, you know, onboard the next million users? And we have 15 million monthly active users in OneFootball. So that's quite like a big number. We have 9 million of them logged in. And so how could we upgrade basically almost, you know, in the background their accounts into Web3? And so that's what I'm really personally also focused on, because that's why it was also very nice to listen to you talk, and that we very aligned on that. I think, you know, the fan identity or your identity as a whole kind of like ties everything back together. And that then also goes into physical, like POAPs, but, you know, also maybe other items that are like memorabilia that are just certified that I own them through an NFT, and it gets attached to my identity, and then I say, yes, I'm an owner. And for me, it goes even like a little bit further. For example, us as a platform in the Web2 space, we work a lot with Adidas and other companies. You know, how can you actually you know, help them, you know, reach fans in a meaningful way differently, right? So what you could think about is that your public address, for example, you have a soulbound token in there that says you're a season ticket holder for that season, and whenever you log into a different platform, you know, it kind of recognizes that status, and you get 20% off. Like a really, you know, or for example, we have OTT rights, so you can also stream Bundesliga, second Bundesliga in our app, and we can drop you basically a token, and this could yield you a 1-year you know, Sky ticket, basically watching in-app football. So that is the point where it gets really tangible to say this is utility, and not like buy this and you get a signed jersey. And I think this is where we really want to go to. I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but that's why I'm also really excited about the future and what everybody who's building this. And then at the end also for me, like an NFT is kind of like the social currency, just saying I'm the biggest collector, or I was the biggest fan of that club, or I was present in the stadium and I minted that NFT live. Also something that we are, looking at community curated moments, because we have digital video moments like Top Shots, for example. And if you can own it when you're in the stadium, I think that's also super powerful. And a lot of stuff, but it's definitely on top of our minds, and it ties all of this together.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think also that's why the connection between NFTs and real people, of course, the utility is such a strong and promising way. I see NFT projects which are nearly only used for trading, basically speculation. While this is great for like a bubble in NFT, this is not what like 99% of the people in Germany really want. They don't want to get into speculation. Mostly they don't like it. So they prefer having something which is more real, tangible, and has something real. And this is where actually NFTs connected to real athletes and teams is so good. Because you don't want, if you're a big fan, you buy maybe the t-shirt or the scarf or the hat, and you want the real one. You want to support your team or your athlete, and this you want to support. I think this is such a big driver where it makes so much sense. Because, for example, if you can have like cheat your way into an expensive NFT for trading, you wouldn't care if it's real or fake if the price is fine, right? And I think in this case, for fans, it finally cares. You want to support the team or the athlete or whomever, and I think this strong bond is so positive for like a long-term value for NFTs.
In general, I remember when Dirk talked in Miami about Web 2 and Web 3 users, he told me that mostly the Web 2 users are at the moment purchasing, and because Web 3 is in the beer market, and I compare it a bit to gaming. So the gaming market, when gaming is very big and everyone wants to game, and now Ubisoft or others are talking about you can get some weapons or items when you play like 20 hours. There was also a lot of discussions, and I can imagine that also your company is having a lot of challenges to tell the football fans which just want to stream the football Bundesliga and just having fun with friends drinking beer. By the way, beer is also from Meta Brew here available for free. Just having fun. That's very challenging. So how's the approach to get the Web 2 people into Web 3? Is there any specific things? It's this really like they stream, and now how to get them? I mean, I see it only from the gaming perspective that some people doesn't want, and yeah.
Yeah, but it's exactly comparable with free-to-play games. That's also sort of my background. But it's always about conversions. And you get a lot of free users in, but at the end of the day, somebody needs to pay the bills, right? So you want to convert them into active and paying users. And obviously this is that's the KPIs. If you compare them that we have now in our product compared to free-to-play games, they're different in many ways. But obviously they are still the same mechanics, or we believe there are some proven mechanics that come from gamification that work in order to drive retention and to drive conversions. And that's what we try to do, to build in gamification elements because then for the fans, it's in the first place, it has to be fun. Obviously it's interesting content because it's official content with official players and all the things that they follow anyhow. And then the incentive to use those items, those NFTs, more than just owning them or trading them, comes with gamification from our perspective. And obviously then the additional utility, which then obviously drives value as well. But in order to make it sticky as a product, it's important to sort of having things to do for the users in the app and not only own and maybe trade NFTs. And that's what we try to do in a way that is sort of a meta game approach, that because it works then in different verticals in football and basketball, and can also go further to entertainment.
For us as well, we have the luxury actually to have like different parts of the ecosystem in Web 2, right? Like for example, you were able to watch a game, you're able, to, for example, have a subscription, and for us to onboard or like try to get these users over, what you technically could do is you just, like in a free-to-play game, like you said, you give them some sort of currency. It doesn't need to be an on-chain token, could be a soft currency of 100 points. You say, here's 100 points, go do whatever you want in the ecosystem. Buy your first collectible, watch your first 2 matches, buy a subscription, or, get tickets. And so once you have the users engage with that, like the barrier to conversion kind of like drops. And here you just need to make sure that you incentivize this flywheel to continue, because the user action also unlocks relationships for us, which tells us again more about the user. Again, we could elevate status or privileges, and basically saying, hey, because you're doing a lot of this, you will get rewarded by token as well, and then it's start spinning, right? And the users who really see value in the ecosystem, because you actually provide it, depends on what you're doing. For us, it's specifically in football. You capture them, and you onboard more and more of this spending then in the ecosystem and in the platform.
Yeah, and one thing which I think is also for OneFootball true as well as for Fanzone, we try to have a very easy to use technology for the fan where they are. They are not usually in Web3, right? They don't have MetaMask, so we try to give them an easy start.
Absolutely. And about adoption, can you talk about which countries are at the moment using your company solution mostly? Is there something you see, or also which campaigns and which incentives are driving? Is it really, hey, you can meet later like a Lewandowski player, or you can, which utility is something which drives adoption, because which brings a fan from the couch, hey, I do it, I make a MetaMask, I want to see Lewandowski. Have you tried a lot of things marketing wise? Maybe also some last insights.
Yeah, so we currently have most of our licensing partners are German IP, like the DFB, DBB, and Olympic team, etc. And but still, around 30% of the community is not from Germany, because there's like a couple of, let's say, but out of these 30%, maybe half of it is from the US, because the whole country is has a lot further down the road in terms of NFT adoption, and so there are users already looking at let's say high value content like German football national team players. They are not in particular fans of that team maybe, but they look at the project and they believe that there is a high value content on it, and that's why they start buying. In terms of utilities, it's something that we have experimented with real life fan experiences. Obviously, they are mostly then only attractive to German users, because if you have like a meet and greet or like a VIP ticket stuff or merchandise, then it's basically here. But we also have done really incentivizing or rewarding like completing collections, and maybe on a certain rarity level or only with the legendary cards, and then have like NFTs airdropped that can't be bought, and that's attractive as well for people who are active in there, because for example you get the logo and a very limited amount of logo NFTs only when you complete the collection in a certain time, and maybe have the highest value collection, and that's what digital rewards in NFT form also work for the community, or like early access to future drops and all of these digital elements that can be dropped as well.
Vincent.
Yeah, for us, to be honest, like when we started out, we tried to use like normal Web2 marketing tactics, like digital advertisement, everything. It didn't really work out, so we trying to also go back and be really scrappy, and it's always about utilities. And one good thing is like we have a bunch of licenses, like Serie A for the league, the Bundesliga, and 27 big football players. So we have a lot of utility, and our biggest problem is how we activate it, because we see, okay, I think we have like 200 tickets for Serie A every weekend, and only 50 of them are actually collected by users in our Discord who want them. But we also try to get very creative. For example, like a really cool thing that I believe is going to be interesting is we're going to introduce leaderboards on our trading platform. So we have a digital video moments platform like Top Shot, and the 10 biggest collectors are going to be able to put their avatar and their Discord handle or Twitter handle on the sidelines of the game, right? So because we have actually the time to be on the sideline, and you're going to go around like one time with your avatar. So these are really money can buy experiences. Like you cannot do that in real life. Or we also working now closely with the players. We're launching another product which is called Footballer's Journey. Think about it as a comic book of the football star from a child to to the star, and it's really it looks like the NFTs are different panels within a comic book. And one of the utilities is there that you can actually play them in FIFA. So you do a Zoom call together, you do one FIFA match against one of Sadio Mane or like any of the players that we have, and yeah, so we're trying to figure out these utilities to activate, because we see that the actual football fan cares about that. Where me, more as an NFT enthusiast, I care about legendary NFTs, right? So we try to cater to the broadest audience that we can.
So thanks for the amazing insights. I got a sign that Craig Palmer, not Jack. It's a long day. Craig Palmer's waiting in Zoom for our international call. But last but not least, I want to thank Vincent also for some merch. Everyone is getting here who's sitting here. Maybe Emil, Alex, you could maybe support me shortly, that everyone who sits here is getting a cap or a jersey?
Yeah, jerseys, socks, anything that you like, just.
Yeah, because we decided to give it to you, to the audience here, and Emil and Alex from our Crypto Ticker team will support. And also take your time to visit the booth. The Fanzone is having in the first area a booth next to Crypto Ticker and Metropoly. So the guys are here. Ask your questions, and Vincent, you stay also a bit.
Yeah, I'll stay.
So if you have any further questions, take your time. Great entrepreneurs. Thanks in advance.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.